There's a specific kind of pain nobody teaches you to recognize. It's not physical, it doesn't come from outside. It's that suffocating sensation of being trapped inside your own skin, carrying an identity that doesn't fit you anymore. You wake up every day performing a role you should have abandoned years ago. And the worst part? You know it. You feel it in your spine, in your chest, in that restlessness that won't let you sleep right. The truth nobody wants to admit is brutal. You're not growing because you're still protecting exactly what needs to be destroyed. That old version of you, with its familiar fears, rehearsed excuses, automatic behaviors, it won't die on its own. You need to kill it consciously. And that terrifies you, because it means looking in the mirror and recognizing that much of what you believe to be you is actually a construction of fear, habit, and conformity. It means admitting that the security you defend so fiercely is just a well-decorated prison. And now the moment has arrived when staying in that prison hurts more than risking the freedom outside. If you made it here, it's not by accident. Something inside you is already screaming for change. So take a deep breath, because what comes next will dismantle everything keeping you stagnant. Stay until the end, because this journey only makes sense when you complete the entire cycle. Know what people fear most? It's not death. It's silence. It's being alone with themselves, without distraction, without noise, without anyone to validate the rehearsed version they present to the world. That's why everyone runs. They fill every empty second with something, anything, just to avoid facing the real reflection of their own existence. But it's exactly in that void where the only thing that can save you lives, the naked truth about who you really are. While you're surrounded by people, busy, answering messages, meeting social expectations, you live on autopilot. You act according to the script you learned. You smile when they expect it. You agree to avoid conflict. You repeat behaviors just because it's always been that way. In this state, you'll never know who you truly are. You'll only know the performance you created to survive in other people's game. When all external voices go silent, the game ends. And that's when you see yourself. No filter, no audience, no romantic narrative to justify your choices. What remains is a terrifying question. Who am I when nobody's watching? The answer usually hurts, because you realize how many decisions you made out of fear and not desire. How many dreams you abandoned because someone said they were unrealistic. How many relationships you maintained just to avoid loneliness. How many versions of yourself you pretended to be just to fit in. This clarity is violent, but it's also liberating, because lies only work when you don't examine them closely. When you stop, observe your life without distractions, and question every pattern you follow, the illusions begin to crumble, and in their place, space emerges for something genuine. Solitude reveals the emotional triggers you never learned to control. It shows the behavioral addictions that silently drain your energy. It exposes the people who only stay close while you remain convenient. And most importantly, it confronts you with the person you're avoiding becoming, because it would require too much courage. Being alone with your thoughts isn't punishment. It's essential maintenance for your sanity. It's where you reclaim authorship over your own story instead of letting the world write it for you. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that without this ruthless self-examination, evolution is impossible. You can't transform what you refuse to see. Think about it right now. When was the last time you sat in complete silence for an hour? No phone, no music, no podcast. Just you and your thoughts. If that idea makes you uncomfortable, you've just discovered exactly what you've been avoiding. The discomfort is the compass pointing toward what needs attention. If you want real transformation, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable with yourself, because the person you're becoming can't be built on top of the person you're pretending to be. One of them has to go, and the silence will tell you which one. Here's what nobody tells you about change. Adding new habits on top of destructive patterns is like planting flowers in poisoned soil. Nothing grows. You can read every self-help book, watch every motivational video, set every ambitious goal. But if you don't first eliminate the behaviors actively sabotaging you, you're just rearranging furniture in a burning house. Most people approach transformation backwards. They try to become disciplined while still feeding procrastination. They want confidence while maintaining victim narratives. They chase success while clinging to comfort. This doesn't work, because the architecture of your old identity is designed to keep you exactly where you are. Your patterns aren't just habits. They're survival mechanisms your past self created to cope with pain, fear, and uncertainty. The problem is, what once protected you now imprisons you. The defensive reactions that helped you survive a toxic environment now sabotage healthy relationships. The perfectionism that earned approval now paralyzes your progress. The people-pleasing that kept you safe now destroys your boundaries. These patterns have become part of your identity. You've repeated them so many times they feel like who you are, but they're not. They're just behaviors you've practiced, and anything practiced can be unpracticed. Breaking this cycle requires more than willpower. It requires strategic destruction. You need to identify the specific patterns keeping you stuck and eliminate them with surgical precision. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because every day you feed those patterns, you strengthen the neural pathways that make them automatic. What does this look like in practice? It means recognizing that scrolling for hours isn't relaxation, it's avoidance. It means admitting that your angry outbursts aren't justified reactions. They're unprocessed trauma responses. It means seeing that your constant busyness isn't productivity. It's a refusal to sit with yourself. The Stoics practiced negative visualization, deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios not to create anxiety, but to remove power from their fears. They understood that what you don't examine controls you. What you bring into conscious awareness loses its automatic grip. So ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped that pattern right now? What if you never did it again? The discomfort you feel answering these questions is your old identity trying to survive. It knows that if you actually follow through, it dies. And that's exactly the point. You cannot negotiate with your old patterns. You cannot bargain, compromise, or gradually phase them out. They exist in an all-or-nothing framework. Either they control you, or you control them. There's no middle ground. The life you want requires different behaviors, which means the version of you attached to these patterns cannot come with you. This isn't cruel. This is clarity. And clarity is the only thing that cuts through years of self-deception. When you finally commit to killing your old patterns, not managing them, not reducing them, but eliminating them, something remarkable happens. Space opens up. Mental space, emotional space, spiritual space, and in that space, something new can finally take root. Every person who's ever achieved meaningful transformation will tell you the same thing. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Not because discomfort is noble or virtuous, but because comfort is, by definition, the absence of change. When you're comfortable, you're maintaining. And maintaining is just another word for staying the same. Your old self was built entirely in comfort. Every limiting belief, every fear-based decision, every self-sabotaging pattern, all of it developed in the space where you felt safe. Which means if you want to become someone different, you need to spend time in a different space. And that space is uncomfortable by nature. The problem is, we've been conditioned to avoid discomfort at all costs. Every system in modern life is designed to maximize your comfort. Temperature-controlled environments, instant food delivery, endless entertainment on demand. We're living in the most comfortable era in human history, and we're also living in the most stagnant. Comfort creates complacency. When you never have to face resistance, you lose the capacity to handle it. Your tolerance for difficulty atrophies, your resilience weakens, you become fragile. The ancient Stoics understood this danger. That's why they deliberately practiced voluntary hardship. They'd sleep on the floor occasionally, fast when they had food, walk in the cold without proper clothing. Not because they were masochistic, but because they were training. They were building psychological resilience by exposing themselves to controlled discomfort. When you practice discomfort voluntarily, it stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you choose. That shift changes everything. Suddenly, difficult situations don't shatter you. Setbacks don't destroy you. Challenges don't paralyze you. This is how you forge your new identity, not through affirmations or vision boards, but through repeated exposure to the edges of your capacity. Every time you do the thing that scares you, you're teaching your nervous system that fear isn't fatal. Every time you endure discomfort without collapsing, you're reprogramming your belief system about what you're capable of. The discomfort you need isn't random, it's specific. It lives exactly where your growth is waiting. Afraid of public speaking? That's where you need to go. Terrified of being alone? That's your training ground. Uncomfortable with conflict? That's your edge. Whatever you're avoiding is precisely what you need to face. Think about the caterpillar and butterfly. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly through gentle encouragement. It dissolves completely inside the chrysalis. Its entire structure breaks down into biological soup before reorganizing into something with wings. That process is violent, uncomfortable, necessary. The struggle to break free is what forces fluid into its wings, making flight possible. Your transformation works the same way. The discomfort isn't an obstacle to your growth, it is your growth. The struggle is what builds the capacity. Trying to avoid it is trying to avoid the very mechanism that creates change. Every time you choose discomfort over comfort, you're casting a vote. Not for who you want to be someday, for who you are right now. Because identity isn't theoretical, it's behavioral. You are what you repeatedly do. And when you repeatedly choose the uncomfortable path, you become the kind of person who doesn't need comfort to function. Your comfort zone is where your old identity lives. But the person you're becoming doesn't live there. They live in your discomfort zone. And the only way to meet them is to go there yourself. Here's a truth that will save you years of wasted effort. Motivation is a lie. Not in the sense that it doesn't exist, it does. But in the sense that it's unreliable, temporary, and completely irrelevant to your transformation. Waiting for motivation to rebuild your life is like waiting for perfect weather to start a journey. You'll be waiting forever. Motivation is an emotion, and like all emotions, it fluctuates based on circumstances, energy levels, and chemical processes in your brain that you don't control. If your progress depends on which mood you wake up with, you're not in control of your life. Your moods are. The Stoics built their entire philosophy around this realization. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, wrote in his journal about how much he didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. But he got up anyway. Not because he felt motivated, because he had discipline. Discipline is the decision to act in accordance with your long-term identity, regardless of your short-term emotional state. It's the bridge between who you are and who you've decided to become. Motivation might get you across that bridge once, but discipline builds the bridge itself and ensures it stays standing when storms come. When you rely on motivation, you become a slave to your feelings. You only work when inspiration strikes. You only show up when you feel energized. This creates an inconsistent, chaotic pattern where you make progress for a few days, then fall apart for a week. You're not building anything, you're just cycling through emotional highs and lows. When you rely on discipline, you become the architect of your reality. You act based on commitment, not emotion. You show up on the days you don't feel like it. And over time, those small acts of discipline compound into a completely different life. People don't understand compounding. They think transformation happens through big, dramatic moments. It doesn't. It happens through boring, repetitive actions that you do consistently over time. Waking up at the same time every day. Doing the hardest task first. Saying no to distractions. None of these actions feel significant in the moment, but over months and years, they create an entirely different person. The Stoics practiced daily rituals, not because they enjoyed them, but because repetition builds character. You don't become virtuous by thinking virtuous thoughts. You become virtuous by acting virtuously over and over, until it becomes automatic. That's the goal, not to force yourself forever, but to act consistently until the new behaviors become your default. At first, discipline feels like effort, but as you repeat the actions, they become easier. Eventually, you reach a tipping point where you're no longer forcing yourself. You've become the kind of person who naturally does these things. This is how identity change actually works. You don't change your identity through belief or affirmation. You change it through behavior. Every disciplined action is a vote for your new identity. Every time you follow through when you don't feel like it, you're declaring, This is who I am now. Most people never experience this because they quit before the tipping point. They rely on motivation. It disappears. They stop. They feel guilty. They try again when motivation returns. They spend their entire lives in this cycle, never accumulating enough consecutive disciplined actions to actually shift their identity. The way out is simple but not easy. Commit to the behavior regardless of how you feel. Not forever, just today. Win today. Then do it again tomorrow. String together enough of these days, and suddenly you're not the person you used to be. Discipline isn't about perfection. You'll miss days. You'll have setbacks. The difference is, disciplined people don't let one bad day become a bad week. They acknowledge the slip and get back on track immediately. They don't need to feel motivated to restart. They just restart. Stop waiting to feel like it. You'll be waiting forever. Start acting like the person you're trying to become, and eventually, you'll look around and realize you're not trying anymore. You've already become them. You can't build a new version of yourself in the same environment that created the old one. Your surroundings don't just influence you, they shape you at a neurological level. The spaces you inhabit, the people you interact with, the content you consume, all of it programs your behavior in ways you're mostly unconscious of. Every environment has a default setting. Walk into a library and you naturally become quieter. Walk into a party and your energy shifts. If your environment is optimized for your old identity, it will constantly pull you back toward old behaviors. The Stoics understood that if you want to maintain clarity of thought, you need to curate what enters your awareness. They treated their environment as a tool for shaping character. You need to do the same. Start with your physical space. Is it cluttered or clean? Chaos in your space creates chaos in your mind. Clean it. Remove everything that doesn't support who you're becoming. That pile of clothes that's been sitting there for weeks? It's a visual reminder that you don't follow through. Every object in your space is either reinforcing your new identity or undermining it. Then your digital environment. What's on your phone? Which apps are on your home screen? If social media is front and center, you're programming yourself for distraction. Curate it ruthlessly. Delete apps that waste your time. Unfollow accounts that make you feel inadequate. Your attention is the most valuable resource you have. Now, the hard part. Your social environment. The people around you create an invisible gravitational field that shapes your behavior. If everyone in your circle settles for mediocrity, you will too. Not because you're weak, but because humans are wired to conform to their tribe. Look at your 5 closest relationships. Do they challenge you to grow or enable you to stay small? Some people are attached to the old you because the old you made their life easier. You didn't have boundaries. You were always available. The moment you start growing, they feel threatened. You're not responsible for their comfort. You're responsible for your evolution. If someone can't celebrate your growth, they don't belong in your inner circle. You can still care about them from a distance, but you cannot let their resistance become your reason to stay stagnant. Create friction for bad habits and remove friction for good ones. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want to scroll less? Keep your phone in another room. Your willpower is finite. Your environment is constant. Design it to make the right choices automatic and the wrong choices difficult. Some environments are beyond repair. Sometimes growth requires physically leaving. This isn't running away. This is strategic positioning. You're placing yourself in an environment that supports who you're becoming instead of who you used to be. When you align your environment with your goals, transformation stops being a battle of willpower and becomes a natural expression of your circumstances. Your space starts fighting for you, and that's when real, sustainable change becomes inevitable. There's a specific moment in every transformation where you realize not everyone can come with you. It's not dramatic. There's no argument, no betrayal, just a quiet awareness that the person sitting across from you is speaking a language you no longer understand. The conversations feel hollow. The connection feels forced. And you know, somewhere deep, that you've outgrown this relationship. This moment is inevitable, because growth creates distance. When you evolve, you don't just change your habits, you change your frequency. and frequencies that once resonated together no longer match. Some people will try to meet you where you're going. Most won't. The hardest part isn't the distance itself, it's the guilt. You've been conditioned to believe that loyalty means staying the same, that love means accepting everything, that growth shouldn't disrupt relationships. But that's a lie designed to keep you small. Real loyalty is to your own evolution. Some people loved you because you were safe, predictable, non-threatening. You didn't challenge their worldview. The old you was comfortable for them. The new you makes them uncomfortable. And instead of looking inward at their own resistance to growth, they'll blame you for changing. You'll hear it. You've become distant. You think you're better than us now. You've changed. And they'll say it like it's an accusation, like change is a betrayal. But change is exactly the point. You're supposed to change. Let them say you've changed. They're right. You have. And you're not done changing yet. The person you're becoming has nothing to prove to people who only valued you when you played small. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them an apology. You can care about someone and still recognize the relationship has reached its expiration date. You can appreciate what they meant to you at one point while acknowledging they're not aligned with where you're going. Outgrowing people doesn't mean you become arrogant. It means you stop shrinking to match them. You're not rejecting them as people. You're rejecting dynamics that no longer serve your evolution. You're not abandoning them. You're returning to yourself. Growth requires elevation, and elevation requires releasing weight. The friend who always wants to relive the past, the partner who resents your ambition, the family member who guilt trips you for having boundaries. These dynamics drain your energy and redirect your focus away from your future. When you start setting boundaries, you'll see who respects them and who tests them. The people meant for your future will adapt. They'll respect your evolution even if they don't fully understand it. Those are your people. The others will resist. They'll make passive-aggressive comments. They'll try to pull you back into old patterns. They'll weaponize your past mistakes. This is manipulation disguised as concern, and you don't have to tolerate it. Walking away doesn't require drama. You can simply create distance. Stop being available for dynamics that hurt you. Stop engaging in conversations that drain you. Your absence will speak louder than any explanation. As you rise, you'll naturally attract different people. People who operate at a higher frequency. People who challenge you instead of draining you. People who respect boundaries instead of testing them. Your new circle won't look like your old circle. That's the point. The Stoics understood impermanence. Relationships evolve or end. Clinging to what's already dead creates suffering. Some people are meant for your entire life. Most are meant for specific chapters. When the chapter ends, honor it, learn from it, and move forward. The moment you stop apologizing for outgrowing people is the moment you reclaim your power. You stop defending your boundaries. You stop justifying your dreams. You simply live as the person you're becoming, and let the wrong people filter themselves out naturally. Choose the temporary pain of distance over the permanent pain of staying stuck. Choose yourself. The people who belong in your future will find you, not because you chased them, but because you became the kind of person who naturally attracts that caliber of connection. Everyone wants a dramatic transformation story. One moment of clarity, one decision that changes everything. But that's not how it works. Real transformation is boring, repetitive, unglamorous. It's the same small decisions made over and over until they stop being decisions and start being who you are. You don't change once. You change 1,000 times. Every single day, in mundane moments that nobody sees. The old you doesn't disappear in one dramatic moment. It dies gradually as you stop feeding it. Every time you resist an old habit, you weaken the identity that held you back. Every time you act with discipline instead of impulse, you step further into your future self. Every time you choose honesty over avoidance, courage over comfort, clarity over chaos, you're participating in your own rebirth. The Stoics taught that character is built by what you practice daily, not occasionally. You become who you are through thousands of small decisions that silently shape your life. Transformation is simply choosing the new behavior more often than the old one until it becomes who you are. Rebirth is difficult because it requires consistency long after the excitement fades. Motivation can spark a beginning, but only repetition sustains evolution. There will be days when you feel strong and days when you feel like collapsing back into old patterns. Your rebirth becomes real on the days you show up even when you don't feel ready. Your future self is being built quietly in the background of every ordinary moment. It's built when you wake up early, even though your mind wants comfort. It's built when you choose to read instead of scrolling. It's built when you speak with integrity instead of people-pleasing. It's built when you do the uncomfortable thing simply because it's aligned with who you want to be. You must stop waiting for the perfect moment to become the person you want to be. There is no perfect moment. There is only today. The Stoics emphasized urgency, not panic, but purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Rebirth becomes possible the moment you realize life is happening now, and postponing your evolution only extends your suffering. Every day gives you a chance to decide who you are, not with words but with actions, not with promises but with discipline, not with dreams but with habits. When you commit to choosing your future self repeatedly, the transformation becomes irreversible. You no longer try to change. You simply live as the new you. Rebirth is not a destination you reach. It's a practice you return to. And as long as you keep choosing the higher version of yourself, even imperfectly, you're already rising. The old you had to break for the new you to rise. Everything you've walked through, every moment of solitude, every difficult choice, every boundary, every step into discomfort has been part of your rebirth. Transformation is never accidental. It is intentional, painful, and deeply personal. The Stoics understood that growth requires shedding what no longer serves you, even when it hurts, even when it makes you feel alone, even when the world doesn't understand. Rebuilding yourself is not about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming who you were always meant to be. Your new life will demand new habits, new environments, and new standards. It will ask you to release people who cannot grow with you. It will push you to confront yourself with honesty, discipline, and courage. But every uncomfortable step is proof that you are moving closer to your potential. You're not starting over. You're starting stronger. Today, right now, you have the power to choose differently, to think differently, to act differently. The rebirth you seek is already happening inside you with every decision you make. The person you're becoming is waiting on the other side of every choice you make today. Every disciplined action, every boundary you set, every moment you choose growth over comfort. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. Your transformation doesn't stop here. It continues in every moment you decide to honor who you're becoming over who you used to be. Keep going. Your future self is waiting, and they're proud of you for making it this far.